Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I am your co-host, Tyler, here with my brother who likes to drink water right at the intros, Ryan Tracy. And today we are continuing our 7-round mock draft series, and we will be doing the Washington Commanders today. But before we get into that, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to get notified when we release new content. Ryan and I, we have a goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers by the NFL draft. And as of right now, we're recording this March 15th. We are just shy of 600 subscribers. So any help will do. It is the easiest way to help out the channel and help us reach our goal. So greatly appreciated once you hit that subscribe button. And Ryan, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Washington Commanders fell just short of making the playoffs this past season, and a lot of moving pieces have been going around. They've already lost Taylor Heineke, actually both quarterbacks from last year, Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz. They do still have Sam Howell, and it's going to be something that we address here a little bit in this mock draft. And so, but a lot of other key free agent moves that help solidify some positions, such as Deron Payne, long time, big contract for the guy. Glad he got it. He's one of the best defensive tackles. So that all being said, we're going to address some other positional needs as we go through this. But let's start out with the Washington Commanders. They're picking 16th overall. Who do we select?
So coming first off the board for the Washington Commanders is going to be Joey Porter Jr., the cornerback out of Penn State. To me, one of those things I think this defense really lacked is like a true long outside corner. And I think you couple that with Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, and then Chase Young, who will hopefully be able to get on the field next year. And I just think this defense goes to the next level. Third-year linebacker Jamin Davis should benefit as well. And I just really like this pick. He's best player on the board. They missed out on all the quarterbacks that came into this draft, and all of the top 4 quarterbacks that came in this draft. A little precursor there, but I just really like this pick. It's a solid defensive player, best player on the board, fills your biggest need, I think, besides the quarterback position. And yeah, I think that's a solid pick. When we saw him on the board, I remember this was all right. Joey Porter Jr. next, and we were on.
Well, and that's one thing in this draft. All of the quarterbacks were taken. There was a run on the offensive lineman as well, and no receivers had been taken yet up at this point of the draft at 16. And I don't think that Washington needs receivers. I mean, you got Terry McLaurin, one of the best receivers in the league, with Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel.
Yeah,
they maybe could have gone tight end, but Michael Mayer had just gotten picked right before them. So going cornerback here, and also Joey Porter Jr. just in general is a great prospect. He's one of the top prospects in this class. If Devin, he is CB1 on some draft boards. Christian Gonzalez is a freak athlete. Devin Witherspoon is also a freak athlete as well. And so it's like Joey Porter Jr. is right up there. So I just think I think it just depends on who they like.
Here, I think if you put him in any of the last 3 or 4 classes, he's easily cornerback 1.
I would say easily. Asante Samuel Jr., Patrick Surtain, that class was pretty good. That's what I feel like this cornerback class is kind of like as well.
Yeah. I just think Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez are 2 generational talents. And Joey Porter is like as close to a generational talent at cornerback as you can get without being Devin Witherspoon or Christian Gonzalez.
I'll push back also a little bit. I'll continue this. Sauce Gardner was in the class last year. And he wasn't even taken first. It wasn't even the first cornerback overall.
Well, okay, true. He is a true cornerback 1 on a team. He is that outside island guy that you want on your defense. And I think getting him at 16 is a steal, and he's getting pushed back because this corner class is just so ridiculously good.
Yeah. So I agree with you there. So let's move on though now to the second pick, and picking at pick number 48 is what it was on our board. One thing, just a quick note, the software that we use, they counted the forfeit picks as picks. So example, Miami at 21 counted as 21, Los Angeles picked at 22. So some of the numbers might be off moving forward, just as a heads up. But pick number 48, their second. We did this before the Commanders signed Jacoby Brissett at quarterback here. I still like them taking Tanner McKee here with their second pick, because then that leaves them with 3 solid QB options, 2 young quarterbacks, a veteran quarterback in case if anything goes wrong. With obviously the other quarterback being Sam Howell. Don't really know what you have with Sam Howell. He did just play 1 game. There are positive reports coming out of it. But Tanner McKee is the QB5, QB6 in this class, depending on just how you rank him and Hendon Hooker. And I like the pick. I think it adds depth at the quarterback position, and maybe they can strike gold here because everywhere else on the offense is actually starting to look better. Offensive line starting to look better. Receiving, as we already talked about, is starting to look better. And so I think addressing the quarterback position here, getting one of the second-tier type quarterbacks in this class is a good pickup.
No, I agree. Tanner McKee's tape is really good. He has the physical skill set that you want a quarterback to have. He's, I want to say 6'3", 6'4", with good height to stand in the pocket. He's athletic, and he has really good arm strength and decision making. Stanford does run a simpler college offense, so that is a little bit easier to go through your progressions and make the proper read.
Mm-hmm.
But he still did that on tape. Honestly, one of his biggest questions, he took a year off to go do a mission, I think, in Africa and do some things outside of football. And he just hasn't been able to put a lot of film on film up because he's been doing things outside of football. And so I think this is a risky pick, but I think if he can be as good as he was at Stanford in his last season there, I really like it. So Tanner McKee might get a lot of hate for that one, but I like it.
I like it. And you know what? In this day and age, that's the kind of off the field concerns that you kind of want to have compared to some of the other prospects that we're seeing going.
Yeah.
I digress. Let's move on, though, now to their third pick, the compensatory pick that they had, pick number 98. We've already mentioned tight end as well, going as a potential need. And at this point, a lot of the top-tier tight ends have been taken off the board, obviously. Yeah. Michael Mayer, Dalton Kincaid, Luke Musgrave. But there's a tight end that you really liked and advocated for him. You love the name because you're a big mac and cheese guy. Why do you think Tucker Kraft is going to it took you a second to get that?
I thought you were talking about Mac Jones for a second. I was like, what?
Oh, no. Tucker Kraft mac and cheese. You're a Patriots fan?
I get that now. But
yeah. Why do you like him?
He's a do-good tight end. He runs good routes. He has good hands. He blocks well. He runs routes out of the slot well. You can line him up all the way from the outside, slot, in line. You can even line him up as an H-back if you really want to. And I just think he's going to be a really solid piece. The tight end position needs to be solidified in Washington as they have had inconsistencies, to put it nicely, at that position lately. So I just think that's a really solid pick. This is a really deep tight end class. I think Tucker Kraft is right up there with that second wave of tight ends after you get out of Luke Musgrave, Dalton Kincaid, and Michael Mayer. And then Darnell Washington is like somewhere in between there, just kind of depending on how you value his physical traits. And so that's, to me, I really like Tucker Kraft. This is a really good tight end class, and I expect the Commanders to tap into it at some point.
Yeah. No, I like the pick, and I think he's a good developmental pick as well to just go along with that. And I think he can contribute on day one. So let's move on, though, now to their next two picks. They're picking at 119 and 152, going with safety Ronnie Hickman at 119, and then running back Sean Tucker from Syracuse, a guy I really like. You really liked Ronnie Hickman here with the safety pick, addressing the secondary again. Why do you think that's a good pick?
Well, he's just a versatile safety. He took snaps all over, slot, in the box, and deep. I think he would be good in a too-high system. And Ohio State is known for putting out good defensive backs. And I think Ronnie Hickman, while I don't think he's going to be a steal in the fourth round, I just think he's good value. He's a good player that is going to come in and he's going to do his job well.
Mm-hmm.
And getting that in the middle of the fourth round, I think that's exactly what you're looking for at that point in the draft. So
and that's kind of what I feel as well going with the next pick, Sean Tucker from Syracuse. He had a great year with Syracuse, great time at Syracuse as well. A good two-down back, and I think he can develop a little bit in the running, but getting him here at 152, I think he'd be an immediate replacement for Antonio Gibson, and I think him and Brian Robinson would be a great running back tandem moving forward.
No, he is just, to me, a kind of like what I said about Ronnie Hickman. He's just a solid running back. He doesn't blow you away in one aspect of his game. He just does everything well. And I think that's a good addition to have in case one of your guys goes down, especially the running back position. That's very common. And so adding depth at that position, I think, is always good. Let's wrap it up here with some rapid fire. Ricky Stromberg at pick 195, the interior offensive lineman from Arkansas. He had a down Senior Bowl, but he had a really good combine and was able to show off a lot of athleticism. And then Sid Sow and Broderick Martin, two developmental pieces, in my opinion. Sid Sow, Eastern Michigan kid, again, showed off some athleticism at the combine. And Broderick Martin is just some defensive line depth, just a really big run stuffer from Western Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point in the draft, we were kind of talking about it, is just getting depth at the trenches, I think, because that is where where a lot of teams are successful, but particularly in Washington, as they're still kind of developing their young quarterback and definitely still developing a stronger secondary. Having as much depth, I think, to make sure that what's good stays good on the team. And that was kind of our mindset here. But in general, though, I like this draft, this mock. If this went out well, this happened for Washington, I would give it a B-, a B, the way it all just kind of panned out. Not my favorite of the mocks that we've done so far, but a good one.
Where they were picking, so obviously I think they wanted to target one of the top tier quarterbacks, but they all kind of went pretty early, especially after Carolina traded up with Chicago, and that kind of, they're going to get the short end of the stick in that situation. And then maybe they reach for Tanner McKee there in the second, but I think that's a risk worth taking if you really like a guy, and you can get him in the second round and see if you can develop him. I think that's worth it. And then I think they got good value later. They did just kind of, they didn't make any like really wow picks. They just, I think, had a solid, solid players.
The way, especially with where they're picking, I've always felt that way if I'm ever doing a fantasy football league and I'm picking in the middle. That's just like, I don't dislike all my guys, but I don't love all my guys, you know? So it's like, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But in general, though, with Washington, I think that would be a solid draft if that is how it panned out.